Hey there, gamers. This is Charlie with Gamer Professionals here with another E3 prediction video. This time it's going to be myself and Brandon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me, Brandon. And Brandon, what do you do at Gamer Professionals?
Well, as of right now, I am the editor-in-chief. I'm the owner, and my primary job is I essentially work on mentoring the new writers, mentoring current staff, and making sure everything runs as smoothly as possible.
Mm-hmm. And so today Brandon and I are here to discuss specifically Square Enix's E3 press conference. And don't worry, guys, I think this is probably going to be a shorter one because we know everything. um, I mean, it's been all but confirmed, or it's been confirmed that we're hearing stuff about their about Crystal Dynamics. I think that's the studio's name. Their Avengers game.
Yeah, it's just Marvel's Avengers from what I heard.
Yeah, and so we don't really know much about it, but we've heard some rumors about like character customization and some people suggesting that it might be something similar to like a role based like a multi like something like Destiny where it's kind of multiplayer role playing shared world sort of stuff going on.
I think that'll be interesting too because, Nintendo has the Marvel, I think it's the Marvel Ultimate Alliance Black Order
Hmm.
game
Yeah.
that'll be coming out sometime soon as well. And I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how the two games end up meshing together, seeing if they kind of conflict with each other. So that'll be interesting to see their perspective on this.
Yeah, and I'm honestly hoping that like I mean we've seen a small CGI trailer for one of them, and then for the other we've seen like this a decent amount of gameplay just like here and there in trailers.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm really hoping that the bigger the Avengers game that we know less about to this point is going to have a lot more of like I see. I'm personally like I know a lot more about that universe through the movies and than I do about
Yeah.
the comic books, and I think that's the same pretty much
For
universally.
pretty much everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that we see something visually a little bit more similar to the movies, just if not for my sake, then for like the developer's sake,
Yeah.
because I think that'll get a lot more people interested than
Yeah.
what we have right now with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which is like kind of
Yeah.
more like comic booky, cartoony sort of thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Kind of brings back a lot of, I mean, just like, what is it, the Ultimate Alliance game. It kind of brings back kind of those vibes of, I don't know if you ever played the game Marvel Heroes. It was a PC game few years back.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, the multiplayer one.
yeah, yeah, the
Yes.
multiplayer one. The one that's kind of like Diablo. It kind of gave me that kind of vibe. So I was kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, is it kind
Hmm.
of trying to bring that game back? I mean, I would love to kind of see that game come back because I actually like that game quite a bit.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, and oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
no, 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 no. You're good.
And I also think that it's really good that we don't know anything about it because this gives them such an opportunity to just like blow our minds with literally anything that they do. I think if it looks pretty and it seems fun enough, then I think that they have a really good. I mean, even just that game alone has a really good standing at the show.
Yeah, definitely.
And do you have any theories like as to what the gameplay is going to be like or like what how it's going to function?
I mean, it could be honestly anything since we
Right.
know so little about it at this point. I mean,
Right.
it could be kind of like a Spider-Man game where it's like an open world, kind of an open world exploration type game. It could be it could be an action RPG. If it's an action
Hmm.
RPG, I mean, I'm all down for that kind of
Yeah.
gameplay. So, yeah.
Monolith Soft is in the credits.
Oh man, that would. I'm just hoping for any kind of Monolith Soft like any kind of like I will literally like be like I will literally just die if that happens.
But yeah, so I think that honestly, like, as long as the game like plays fluidly and has some interesting mechanics that we haven't really seen before, as long as it doesn't like steer like towards what we saw with like Anthem earlier this year, then I think it
Yeah.
stands to do pretty well and have like really interesting stuff going on. Just because it's such a big IP and you have so many interesting not just gameplay options but also just like mechanical options.
Yeah.
And then the other game that we know is that's all but confirmed. That's a little bit less hard confirmed compared to the Avengers game is Final Fantasy VII, the remake that is.
Yeah. That's yeah. That's gonna be a big one for sure. I mean, especially now that Kingdom Hearts 3 has finally been released, they have a
Yeah.
lot more room to actually, you know, put more time into this. And I'm kind of hoping it does well, but at the same time, I'm kind of apprehensive about it too. I mean, they're going away from their, they're going away from the turn-based routes, which I think which can go in one of two different ways. It can be really, really good, or
Hmm.
it can be really, really bad. And that I feel like that's a really big difference to kind of make, especially since that game is it's like a classic for
Right.
everybody.
Right.
So
Did you play the
yeah, I
original?
mean, the original, yeah, I
Okay.
love the original.
Yeah, and do you like the Final Fantasy 15 style combat or not so much?
I liked it a lot
Okay.
actually. I have quite a few opinions about Final Fantasy 15, but that'll probably be for another video. So.
Actually, I think that video is already out, so I'm gonna link that in the description for all my Final Fantasy 15 fans and possibly haters. uh, but yeah, no, I also really enjoyed the combat system. Like I didn't play a whole lot of 15, but I do remember liking the combat system quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I really also enjoy that that more action based RPG sort of gameplay. I think that turn based gameplay is not necessarily a relic because also I really like Pokemon and I like the way that they do turn based stuff. But I think that it's in many ways just representative of a time where like fully action based gameplay wasn't really doable.
Yeah, which is really strange too, because when we look at it, last year Octopath Traveler was a huge
Oh
hit,
yeah.
and that was a turn-based RPG. So I'm kind of like, clearly there's still an interest for those kinds of games, but at the same
Hmm.
time, I think it has to be done right. And I think Octopath was one of those games that, for the most part, save for the story, it actually hit a lot of those right points, and the battle
Right.
system was like a huge selling point for the game.
And also I think like if you want to play Final Fantasy 7 with in turn based, then just play the original, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
but then
that's
people
that's
are like,
that's
"Oh
how
my
I
god,
feel.
I can't get
But
the graphics." So,
but yeah, and I think that that controversy is gonna just like we're gonna see it kind of swell during E3, and then people are gonna like care less and less as we get more and more information.
yeah. So here's a question for you: what do you think about the episodic format?
I think it's stupid. I think it's such a. I think it's interesting because in the sense that like it's a good way to like maintain playership throughout an extended period of time
Yeah,
and like engagement, and it's also a good way to kind of like encourage people to pace themselves because like I don't know about everyone else, but personally, I get lost in so many games where it's like I'll start an RP. Like this happens to me. This has happened to me with every Xenoblade game that I've played. I'll like I won't pace myself, and same thing with Octopath Traveler too. Every RPG that I play, I'll like go really hard at the beginning, and then I'll either hit like some kind of like hard part of the game because I didn't grind enough, or like find some kind of like boss fight or something, or just forget about it because a new game comes out or I get a new game, and then I just completely lose myself, and I think that the episodic format in that respect will discourage like kind of like getting lost and forgetting what you do, where you are and stuff, especially if it has some kind of like last time on Final Fantasy VII or whatever.
yeah. I'm kind of the opposite though. I mean, I'll kind of play a game as much as I can and try and find, especially with JRPGs and RPGs in general, I tend to
Hmm.
try and find ways to really try and break the system. So I'm the kind of guy that'll try and max out everything, and basically I'll be the guy that'll try and get those 9999 damage builds and all.
Nice.
And I mean, even for games like Xenoblade, I have plenty of hours clocked into that game, and I mean, it would just be like, okay, I'm gonna try and find a way to maximize my chain combos. Make sure my damage is like super duper good, so that way I'm killing the super bosses in
Mhm.
seconds rather than taking 30 to 40 minutes.
Right.
So
Yeah, and so I'm assuming you also really like Pokemon then.
I do, yes, I
Yeah,
do.
because I mean, talk about like a game where you can max people out quickly and efficiently, like especially with the EXP share and everything.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
do you think that there's anything else that we're gonna see at this conference aside from those two games?
I mean, I feel like they're gonna throw like the usual like Tomb Raider thing, which I
Hmm.
wasn't really a fan of the last one. I heard it was also very. I mean, I've heard a lot of bad things about it
Hmm.
essentially, and it basically was just a very generic kind of run of the mill. kind of thing. And honestly, if they do that, it's gonna be good for the people that really want it. But I think there's better games that now exist in that place.
Yeah, and I okay. So full disclosure, uh, I have been listening. Like I've been kind of like racking my own brain and also listening to other prediction videos for other predictions and like for other good insights. Not
Hmm.
just for Square Enix, but all the shows in general. And something that they brought up in that Game Explain brought up in their Nintendo prediction was something about either collection of mana.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I don't remember where they got this, but apparently there was some kind of trademark or something. Because I'm pretty sure that game already came out in Japan, but from what I understand, they were talking about how there was some kind of leak or some kind of patent for collection of mana
Yeah.
in the U.S. or in an English-speaking territory, and obviously, Secret of Mana and that whole series is a pretty big
That'd be cool. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty historically important for the history of gaming, especially that first entry in the series on the Super Nintendo. And I think that that would be a really really good just thing to beef up their press conference because
Yeah.
like we've seen in the past with Nintendo where it's like, oh, they talk about one game for like 20 minutes and people who don't care about that game get really angry. And
Yeah.
obviously some fans of Nintendo are a lot less rabid than Square fans aside from some of the Kingdom
Hmm.
Hearts fans, but um,
Hmm.
I think that they're gonna have to find other ways to beef up their press conference. And I think like smaller
Yeah.
reveals like the Secret of Mana and also
Dragon Quest.
yeah, Dragon Quest
Dragon Quest
11.
11.
Yeah. And also, like, what about that
Well,
specifically?
with Dragon Quest 11, I know they're putting out a Switch version,
Hmm.
so they're gonna definitely be spending some time on that, at least giving
Yeah,
us a little bit more of like a plot. Do they have a release window on this? I don't remember
I
off the top
think
of my head.
I'm thinking it's late, like later this year. I'm assuming holiday, probably. Um, but yeah, I think that's a really good prediction. If we don't see it during Square, I mean, it's basically guaranteed to see it in Nintendo. I mean, I'm not sure how many people know this, but I'm sure that you probably know this, Brandon. But Dragon Quest in Japan, from what I understand, is like Star Wars is here in America. Like it's just massive,
Yeah,
right?
it's a cult following over
Yeah,
there. I've heard about that.
and I think that either one of I mean we've also seen this year how well the Switch has been selling and that it's already outsold the PS4 in Japan. And I think
Yeah.
seeing something that popular coming to the Switch and like I mean we already know that it's coming, but having a solid
Mhm.
release date is just going to
Yeah.
remind everybody how like just like what a force to be reckoned with that console is and how much Square is supporting it too. Square is going
Yeah.
in on the Switch.
Yeah, especially with Octopath Traveler. I mean, that was huge, and
Hmm.
it just came
Yeah.
out yesterday. Yesterday too on Steam, and that's already a conversation point. So I'm sure they're gonna mention that in some way, shape, or form. But
Hmm.
I mean, the game's kind of already past its announcement phase at that
Right.
point. So I
Well,
mean,
there's actually
yeah,
going to be a mobile spin-off game for that.
yeah. I heard. I'm actually very excited for that. I kind of want to see
Hmm.
how it goes, even though it's going in a gotcha-y type
Right.
direction. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I'm
Hmm.
pretty excited about that.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see something about that at their conference. Do you think that we're going to see anything about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Maybe a little bit more about the Proud Mode DLC. I feel like it'll just be like a footnote, if anything.
Hmm. And do you think we're going to see any of the Tokyo RPG Factory games?
I would love to see them. I really like Tokyo RPG Factory, but I mean, oof, I mean, I'm honestly not sure. I think they have quite a few things on their plate currently,
Hmm.
and I feel like there's better ways to bring that information out rather than spend time during the press conference and do that.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, we see Tokyo RPG Factory game revealed during the last proper Nintendo Direct back in
I,
March or February.
I think we did, and I think it was it the Oninaki game, right?
I think
Oninaki?
so. Yeah, and where there's a lot of like stuff that has to do with like ghosts and demons and the
Yes,
undead.
that's the one.
Yeah, because I mean,
That's
I'm not 100% convinced that that's a Tokyo RPG Factory game, but it has a visual style. It has like it was introduced in a direct where it was almost entirely RPGs, and half of them were made by Square. So
yeah.
it just makes sense.
Yep, it is there. It is their RPG Factory
Okay.
title. So,
And so then, yeah, I'm sure we're going to get more information on that. Do you think there's anything else that we're going to see?
from Square Enix at this point, I can't personally think of anything right now, but I'm sure I'll find something literally after this phone call and after this conversation. So,
Right. Yeah, I honestly I can't think of anything either. So I think that's about it for this discussion. Brandon, where can they find you on social media?
well, on social media, I'm actually more of a quiet presence lately, but for the gamer professionals type stuff and more of the gaming stuff that I like to talk about, you guys can reach out to me on Twitter. I go by @GamerProsNews on Twitter.
Mhm.
And with our YouTube channel, we've been kind of essentially building that up. So I've been putting a little bit more focus into that. And as you know, since you're watching a YouTube video, just hit the like and subscribe button for us.
Absolutely. And links to our website, our official Twitter account, like Brandon just talked about, in the description below. And then also, I'm going to link to my own social media, CHAS_MKE on both Instagram and Twitter. And of course, please, please follow everyone listed in the descriptions of all these videos, guys. We're all working towards making this YouTube channel and our website just a better place for you guys to be. So hopefully we'll see you not just in the comments, but also on Twitter and on our website. Thank you all very much for watching. Peace out.
Yep. See you guys next time. Thanks.